Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where we ask if the WWE can put a fucking lid on This Is Your Life segments. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to our Extreme Rules preview show. It seems like we've got a preview and a review show quite often this month, basically, as a ton of pay-per-views are coming our way. Little programming note, we will be at you Monday for our Extreme Rules review show, but we will be off next Thursday as I will be traveling out of town. So just a programming note there. We got you here this Thursday, this Monday, and then we will be off for about a week and a half and back to our regularly scheduled program on the Thursday after that. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you need to do is search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way most Thursdays and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube. The links to all that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. We are also on the Twitter gimmick, and you can find us there at LITMC Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime, Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Well, I have a feeling Sunday's not going to be very extreme at all.
You mean that kendo stick on a pole match isn't going to be extreme for you?
Look, as a regular pay-per-view card, like, it seems fine. But for an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, like, the card really doesn't, to me, scream extreme at all. It's very tame. I mean, the fact that one of the title matches is, if the person gets disqualified on an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, he could lose his championship. To me, that says everything that needs to be said about Extreme Rules on Sunday, and is a prime example of why I am not heading down to Baltimore on Sunday to see this show.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the one match that probably should be Extreme Rules is you can't have a DQ. So, oh well, what can you do? It looks like there's a slight change to the card. It looks like Rich Swann, Sasha Banks, Noam Dar, Alicia Fox is on the main card now, which leads me to believe that I bet the WWE last minute puts R-Truth Goldust on the pre-show.
I never heard the mixed tag was for the pre-show. Really? I never heard it announced as such.
I thought I did hear it as such, but maybe I was wrong. No pre-show match announced yet, so I'm going to guess Truth and Goldust there. Only 6 matches on the card. You think that's enough, Matt? You think the Fatal 5-Way is just going to be a half hour?
I think we're going to get I think we'll probably get some annoying talking segment that will annoy us all to death. So, to me, this is going to feel like a very long edition of Raw, in my opinion. Like, I'm really not thinking that this is going to be a great show. But I thought the same thing about Payback and ended up, for the most part, really enjoying the show. So I really hope things come out the same way. And that I'm hoping this is a lot better of a show than Backlash was.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting into the Rich Swann, Sasha Banks, Noam Dar, Alicia Fox. I'm getting into it a little bit. I mean, it's not wowing me by any means, but I'm into it a hell of a lot more than the 3 matches they had, Fox and Banks had, that totaled like 10 minutes. You know, obviously that was worthless, but I kind of enjoyed the 4 of them on Raw and 205 Live. So I'm looking forward to that match. And Neville and Aries is going to bring down the house. So will the Hardys, Cesaro and Sheamus. The women better bring it after that This Is Your Life segment. And on top of that, they gotta do it on a
fucking bad.
Then on top of that, they gotta do an on a pole match. So The Fatal 5-Way will be amazing, though. I have no doubt about that. And
yeah, I think it's gonna carry the entire show.
Yeah, and at least it'll be the lasting image of the show, so that'll help a little bit. And of course, my boy Dean Ambrose defending his Intercontinental title. So, it's kind of like Backlash. I said was kind of like a SmackDown Live on steroids. It wasn't quite pay-per-view quality. I think Extreme Rules may better that by a hair, and I think the main event will have a lot to do with it. But we'll give our predictions for the 6 announced matches at the end of the show here. First, let's cover some headlines, some sad news. NXT star Tommaso Ciampa was injured. He suffered a new injury during the ladder match against the Authors of Pain at NXT TakeOver Chicago. It's going to require surgery. He headed to Birmingham, Alabama for surgery and post-surgical rehab. Rumor is that he underwent ACL surgery. Some people are saying that it was 6 to 10 months that he'll be out. But he was standing in the ring just fine without his crutches. Obviously, he needed crutches to walk tonight on NXT. So, from what you saw with your own 2 eyes on NXT, Matt, you feel a little better about the diagnosis of Ciampa?
Well, I mean, we don't know anything else other than the fact that it's an ACL injury right now, and he's getting surgery in Alabama. I bet you they probably won't even know the extent of the injury until they actually get in there and do the surgery, because they thought Finn's shoulder wasn't nearly as bad as it was until they actually got in there and did the surgery on it.
Yeah.
So, all signs will wait and point to what happens when they open his knee up. I guess sometime within the next week or so he's going under. Or it might have already happened by the time you hear this. So, I mean, either way. But, I'm hoping for the best. I mean, he was able to walk around in the ring and cut the promo without the use of the crutch, which is, to me, an encouraging sign. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, he's a tough son of a bitch, but, it's still, if you're looking for, you're just grasping at straws and looking for something to be positive about, that was it.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So hopefully we get good news coming out of this after his surgery is done.
Yeah, bad timing, obviously, which I don't think there's ever good timing for injuries, but, I mean, the heel turn for Ciampa was magnificently done at TakeOver, and it ended us in some shock and awe. So hopefully Ciampa can get well soon, get back in there with Gargano, hopefully in time for Brooklyn. They have added Asuka to WWE's return to Japan. They're going to be in Japan June 30th and July 1st. Asuka is replacing Mickie James on the tour, and she'll be teaming with Bayley and Sasha to take on Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and Emma. Is Mickie James hurt currently, Matt? I haven't heard.
Not that I know of.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so he's replacing Mickie James on the tour. So
yeah, I don't know what to make of that one.
The card ain't quite updated yet either, because on July 1st they have Gold Dust and R-Truth. They have Gold Dust and R-Truth taking on Bo Dallas and Titus O'Neil. So I bet that won't happen. But Jericho taking on Hideo Itami, that'd be pretty sweet to watch.
I'm very much looking forward to NXT Live for me mid-June in Maryland. It's going to be a blast.
About a week ago...
Just because I don't want to go to WWE main roster shows anymore does not mean that I am not super hyped to go to another NXT Live event. They are always so much freaking fun.
Yeah. I wish there'd be one closer to my range. I think they had one in Omaha a while back, a couple, 3 years ago, but that was kind of before NXT really started blowing up. Billy Corgan described the purchase of the NWA as about 97% done during an interview with Mike Johnson at PW Insider last week, but that 3% is turning out to be quite a hurdle, according to Mike Johnson. Multiple sources have said the deal is in jeopardy due to issues regarding the transfer of existing copyrights and trademarks for the National Wrestling Alliance. So we'll keep you up to date once we get more on that. Why don't he just? Why does it? Jeff Jarrett just sell Global Force and Ed sell Anthem to Corgan, and we can all be happy.
To me, the craziest thing about all of this, there's so much news about Corgan and the NWA right now, with absolutely, it's insanity how much this is being talked about. Like I said several weeks ago, without a TV deal, this means nothing. I will give credit. Corgan certainly implied to Mike Johnson on that interview that you mentioned a minute ago, that he has some kind of TV deal lined up, or is definitely in deep enough conversations that something is going to happen.
Yeah,
because Mike made the joke about how Saturday nights at 6:05 would never happen again, and Corgan was like, Corgan, I don't want to like quote him because it's been a week or so since I heard the interview, but he certainly implied to Mike in basically not so fast type of terms that like he might have some type of national TV deal lined up for this, and if he does, that's awesome. But I'm still taking the whole wait and see approach for the entire NWA thing, and if it turns out this last 3% can't come to terms to get this shit done, God, what a waste of a couple weeks of nothing.
Yeah. Coincidentally enough, Ed Nordholm said that Impact's deal with Pop ends January 2018.
Well, I can't.
I know Corgan. Well, I know Corgan.
Anybody's going to be lining up to want to put Impact Wrestling back on cable television.
No, but
so they better get something worked out with Pop, because if they don't, I don't think Impact's going to find a new home.
Because if I remember,
or whatever the fuck it's going to be called by next January.
Oh, I got some story on that. But back to that, I mean, I am pretty sure Corgan is buddy with the Pop president, so he could slide right in. During an interview, I think it was the interview we talked about last week with John Pollock, Ed Nordholm noted that the Global Force Impact storyline merger will likely conclude its Slammiversary on July 2nd. I'm not sure if that's going to mean a complete integration or what's going on there, but Matt Hardy did take to Twitter again, go figure, last week about Ed Nordholm's release of materials, and he said, to Taz, 100% correct, Taz. I wasn't going to post the drunken, mean, vulgar text sent to Talents by TNA management. In the worst kept secret in Impact history, Josh Matthews' mystery partner for Slammiversary is revealed on tonight's Impact episode. Or that was last week's? Last week's, yeah. Scott Steiner. Wow. And
you mean you're not hyped about this?
Yeah. Shimmer fans, the lovely and talented Madison Rain's going to be returning to the company for their tapings on July 8th and 9th in Berwyn, Illinois. So if you're in the area, a fan of Shimmer, you'll be able to catch Madison Rain.
Yeah, I don't care.
Justin Roberts is launching a tour for his book. The book signing tour is going to start off in the Northeast in Hershey, Pennsylvania on May 25th and work its way around the Northeast and then eventually down to Chicago, Illinois before going up to Canada and hitting the West Coast, ending on June 25th. I'm sure you can get all those details at Justin Roberts' website there. What do you think of the... it was announced that the U.S. Patent Office refused got an initial refusal to Matt Hardy for his broken Matt Hardy trademark. What do you gather from that?
It's much ado about nothing. I mean, the trademark wasn't filed completely properly by the Hardys. Mm-hmm. It's probably one of the first things they've ever had to attempt to trademark. So that's to be expected. They understand what they need now, and they're going to get the proper stuff in, and everything's going to be fine. You know, everybody wanted to jump up and down. Oh my God, look at this! But it's really not that big of a deal. These things happen in this type of process. They just needed certain things that the Hardys did not include with the filing, and they need to just present that to the office. They'll get it done, and everything will be fine. It's really not that big of a news story. I actually think Nia Jax slamming the Raw creative team is a hell of a lot bigger of a story than that.
I'm going to bring that up in a minute.
I figured I'd just cross it right into that.
Cody Rhodes recently did an interview with Chuck Carroll from CBS, and Chuck had asked about a recent interview he did with Sports Illustrated where he said it's almost time to make a decision on a permanent new home, and asked Cody what goes into that decision. Cody said, I guess I spoke too soon. It's probably not time to make a decision, but if I did make a decision, it's just a matter of trust.
He's lying out of his ass.
There's so little trust in pro wrestling, so little, and there should be. We all love this thing and want to put the best in, put on the best show and fill the seats in the house. But it's trust and being around people in the office that I trust. I trust every guy in the locker room for the most part, but it's finding top brass in companies that I know. If I put my name on the dotted line, that I'll be taken care of. And honestly, any offer came my way, I haven't really looked at. My day book is still pretty deep all the way through September. It goes everywhere. We'll probably revisit it then. So, what were your comments on that, Matt?
He's a liar. He's an absolute liar.
What do you?
Because there's no way he's main eventing Best in the World 101 against Christopher Daniels in June if he hasn't signed a deal.
Yeah.
There's no way you're not doing two world title matches, 2 pay-per-view events in a row, and especially with this one being 1-on-1. If he hasn't signed a deal with Ring of Honor, they would have given this match to Jay Lethal.
Yep.
Because Lethal was the guy who wasn't pinned. So honestly, Best in the World should be Lethal and Daniels for the title. The fact that it's Cody again tells me that 1, he's signing with Ring of Honor.
They're
2,
putting it on him.
I think they're putting the title on him.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cody can try to work the internet all he wants. He's a lot like Chris Jericho, in that way, that like to put out those red herrings and those little stupid statements to make people keep on guessing, so to speak. But yeah, I don't believe him for a second. If he wants to work the internet, that's fine. But you're not working me. Clearly, you're going to be signing a deal with Ring of Honor. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if by the time the Best in the World is over, Cody holds his first world championship with Ring of Honor.
Yep, that'd be a pretty good sight to see. Good news for Lucha Underground fans. It returned tonight, Wednesday night, May 31st. It's headlined by an all-night-long match between the Mac and Johnny Mundo for the Lucha Underground Championship. Basically an Iron Man match, a fancy way of putting it. Looking forward to the return of Lucha Underground, but also looking more forward to the clock ticking for the free agencies of Ricochet, Pentagon, and Phoenix. Brie Bella posted a video on YouTube and says she intends to return to the ring. Matt, do you buy this?
Oh, I absolutely buy this. I actually have a friend who met Nikki Bella WrestleMania weekend a few months back. Mm-hmm. And Nikki did tell him point blank that her and Brie were intending on doing a comeback tour.
Great. Awesome.
Sometime next year. So the fact that this video is now out of Brie basically confirming that she wants to come back, it definitely lines up with what Nikki told my friend WrestleMania weekend in Orlando. So yeah, I absolutely buy it, and I absolutely do believe that the Bella Twins will be involved in some kind of probably tag team feud leading to WrestleMania in New Orleans next year.
Yeah, and the more likely that Brie Bella is wrestling, and maybe the more likely Daniel Bryan stays with the company too. So, on last night, during Smackdown, Nia Jax took to Twitter. Wow, first ever Money in the Bank women's ladder match. Amazing how SmackDown Live uses their entire in all caps women's roster every Tuesday. Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
I think Nia Jax just put herself in the doghouse on the Raw brand, but at the same token, I don't disagree with her.
No.
And this is the same thing. I've been saying this since the brand split happened, that SmackDown is very, very good at utilizing their entire women's division at once, and Raw is very, very bad at it. And it's being proven once again, and the fact that one of the Raw brand talents are actually speaking out about it speaks volumes with probably how much frustration there is on the women's roster side of the Raw brand right now. I guarantee Mickie James wishes she was still on SmackDown right now. She's done nothing since they moved her over.
Yeah.
Nia Jax has been non-existent in the last several weeks. Sasha Banks has been relegated to a 205 Live feud with Alicia Fox and Noam Dar.
Alicia Fox.
Yeah, the whole women's division on Raw it seems to be it can only revolve around two people at any given time.
Yep.
Like, we haven't seen Dana Brooke since Emma got hurt.
No.
It's crazy. Like, the women's division on Raw is a mess.
Yeah, it's a longer show.
It's an absolute mess, and it's a longer show. There's no excuse. Yeah, I honestly, like, I don't think Nia Jax is very good in the ring. I've made that very clear on several occasions. I think she should still be down in NXT learning. But at the same token, she absolutely hit the nail right on the head with what she said there, and mad respect to her for doing it, because she's gonna get heat for that statement from the Raw side of the creative team.
Well, little meeting with Mark Carano.
More power to her that she had the guts, to step up and say it.
And a little bit, how about an NHL sidebar, Matt? Apparently during the first intermission at tonight's Stanley Cup final, they had Doc Emmerich in a kitchen narrating a guy making a sandwich. I got to see that later. I bet that was pretty funny. Doc Emmerich. Badass announcer, Doc Emmerich.
I figured you were going to bring up Rusev or something, since he's a Nashville Predators fan. I thought. Is
Rusev holding the cat?
Did something?
Is Rusev holding the catfish? Is Rusev in Pittsburgh holding a catfish?
Dude, I'm telling you what, right now, I'm a little worried about Rusev and Lana right now. I mean, this isn't being reported on the internet anywhere, but the fact that Rusev was supposed to be on SmackDown a few weeks ago, to do that storyline with Shane and Orton and whatnot, and he went to the Predators game instead. The fact that we haven't heard about Rusev on SmackDown since, and the fact that we didn't get a Lana vignette this week on SmackDown, kind of makes me worry about both of those performers. If they've got some kind of heat on them now for Rusev no showing that SmackDown show a few weeks back.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just really weird. You're doing the weekly vignettes with Rusev about, hey, I want a title shot, or I'm not coming, and all of a sudden you just drop it. And instead of Rusev getting that shot at Money in the Bank, it's Jinder and Orton again. It's really weird, and I'm really curious as to if there might be some heat on those guys. I really hope there isn't. I love Rusev and Lana, but the timing is certainly peculiar. You know what I'm trying to say? It's weird. So, well, I don't know if you think I'm crazy or what, but
no, it's completely weird that they hype that up and he's at a hockey game. Lana did take to Twitter today and asked Shane McMahon to put her in the Money in the Bank ladder match. See what happens. Good news for X-Pac, Sean Waltman. The charges were dropped by the state of California earlier last week. He was arrested for pills that were believed to be methamphetamines by authorities last month at LAX. Turned out that they did not have meth in them after they were tested, so the charges have been dropped. Impact Wrestling continues the yo-yo from 300,000 and then down to 270. This past week they rebounded again back to 305,000, but nowhere near the numbers they got when they had the final deletion. So Impact's still struggling to make a mark, and again, Matt, I read the results again, and again, I did miss it.
Dude, I'm telling you, I can DVR through Impact in about 5 minutes nowadays. So,
yeah.
it's it's not that entertaining of a show, and the fact that they still dedicate large segments of their television to the Josh Matthews Jeremy Borash feud is just enough to make me have no desire to want to tune in.
No,
like I don't want nothing to do with it. It's so ungodly terrible. Just I can't tolerate it.
Unless Joseph Parks is beating the shit out of Josh Matthews, yeah, and I'll catch that on YouTube probably somewhere. So, or our buddy Italio Santana, the wrestling GIF guy, he'll probably make a GIF of it. Raw rating down slightly, so that means it is the worst rating of the year again, but only lost 2,000 viewers from the week prior. No SmackDown rating yet that I have seen, of course, due to the holiday weekend. A little bit of a delay there. So, no SmackDown to compare. Not sure where that's going to go yet, but some new trademarks filed by the WWE. They filed the trademark Bruiserweight for Pete Dunne, and also the trademark WWE Rockstars. Not sure what that's for, Matt, but I'm going to guess another app.
Yeah, I was going to say that definitely sounds like a new mobile game, probably. I guarantee. You know what? I bet you know what. I know. If this was like years ago, I could totally see WWE doing some kind of like Guitar Hero-esque app.
Yeah.
Where you're doing like the notes to play like WWE
theme
entrance
songs.
music. Yes.
Hell, WWE's behind the times half the time, anyways. It might be that.
That's true. They just now started calling Kevin Owens Cartman. So
yeah,
at that rate, maybe that is what it is. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I think that would be kind of neat.
It would.
Like, I liked Guitar Hero and Rock Band back in the day. I wouldn't mind, messing with something like that on a phone and seeing how it is.
Yeah.
So I'd be sure it'd be a hell of a lot better than Supercard.
Those type of apps are on the phone, so I got bored of Supercard quick. I'm still playing a lot of Champions though. I really dig Champions.
Only you, pal.
Yeah,
only you.
Oh, they said 15 million people downloaded it.
Yeah, and about a quarter of that are still playing.
Hey,
if they're lucky.
That's still a good amount. That's more than people are tuning in to see Raw. So.
No, like I said, if they're lucky. And I got bored of that game very quickly. Like
oddly enough, I haven't yet.
The pay ceiling on that game is it's too much. You get to a point where you can't advance unless you're spending money, and to me that makes the game that's not fun anymore. Like, if I can't advance by daily play, and the only way I can advance is to throw hundreds of dollars into a mobile game, yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. Thank you very much.
Congrats to Will Ospreay. He has won Block A for the best of the Super Juniors. Block B is a clusterfuck, so to speak. All 8 guys after day 11, 2 days ago, all 8 guys had 6 points.
Well, it can't truly be a clusterfuck because it's all scripted.
Oh!
I'm just saying, clearly they have a plan.
I know.
I mean, clearly there has to be something in place, so we shouldn't really be too worried about everybody being tied. Clearly they have a plan.
I wasn't using clusterfuck in a negative term here. I was just saying the leaderboard is bunched up with everybody at 6.
I heard rumors that Liger wrestled his final match this week in that tournament. Is that true?
I think it was his final Super Juniors tournament, not his final match.
I heard rumors it was his final match.
I remember reading something just before the start of Super Juniors that it was his last Super Juniors, but not his last match.
All right, I hope that's the case, because that would be a real bummer. Like, I'd actually like to see his final match live.
Yeah.
He's meant so much, to the business over the years. I'd feel really cruddy if I didn't get to see his final match live, if at all possible.
Yeah,
that's one of those things I'll stay up till like 3 or 4 a.m. on NJPW World 4 and make sure I get to watch that.
Yeah, I'm almost certain this is just his final Super Juniors. John Cena took to Twitter, much like Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes like to tease us. John Cena teasing a return to SmackDown this week. Just taking a second to regroup and recharge. Finished up a funny project in Atlanta, And then a trip back home is long overdue for the WWE. And funny enough, WWE is in Atlanta this week, but no John Cena. But John Cena did basically confirm as much that July 4th will be his official return date to the WWE, as he said that in another tweet yesterday.
Yes, he's returning to take the United States Championship from Kevin Owens on the 4th of July.
Hey, it's for America, man.
I'm just saying, would you put it past them?
No.
Exactly.
No. They saw the pub they got when Cena was U.S. champ and whatnot. Matt, you going to MCW Slamboree on June 9th?
No, because I'm going to NXT a week later. But what do they got going on?
Oh, we got Jack Hager. You might know him as Jack Swagger. Stevie Richards is going to be there. James Storm, Gail Kim, Kevin Matthews. That's not ringing a bell off the top of my head.
I know the name, but I can't place the face at the moment.
It's from Impact. I don't know.
That fucking KM idiot who they're treating like Biff from Back to the Future.
Oh, I don't know.
It's terrible.
I'll
like
take your word for it.
he even uses to make like a tree and leave line.
Oh my god. Okay.
No, but make like a tree and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Like he uses that line. Like he gets it wrong just like Biff does in the Back to the Future movies.
Butthead.
It's terrible. Like it's so bad.
Those are the featured names. And
speaking of bad, I guess the minis are coming to Impact Wrestling, right? Dutch.
Yeah.
Dutch lost in the mid card so much he blocked us. Thanks, Dirty Dutch.
Matt got lost in the mid card blocked. Matt got lost in the mid card blocked by Zeb Coulter.
I was just being honest. The fact that you need so much help with your company right now, then what you're gonna do in July is bring the fucking minis in. Like, look, like I said, just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, here come the minis. You wanna block our podcast for that, Dutch? Go right ahead, because we have more listeners than you have viewers, and that's all I have to say about that.
Well, at least he didn't go into depth and then say, oh, it's hosted by these two jackasses. Let me block them too.
I would have been fine with it. I don't follow the asshole anyway.
I don't either. I thought I did, but I don't.
He has two different accounts. He's got the Zeb Coulter account.
Oh, I think I followed that one.
And then he has the Dirty Dutch account, which was locked private up until like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he unlocked it during the whole Hardy's Reby issues. So
yeah,
it's just a mess. Fuck TNA, dude. Fuck that Al.
I gave it a chance. I enjoyed week 1. And it went downhill from there. Good news for you Austin Aries fans. He announced earlier this week that his first book is being written. And the pre-sale for his book begins now. It's called Food Fight, My Plant-Powered Journey from the Bingo Halls to the Big Time. So if you're a big Austin Aries fan, be on the lookout for that book coming soon. Actually, it's being released on June 9th, so it's already done, in the can, and ready for distribution. June 9th coming up very soon. I believe that's a week from Thursday. And for more details, you can go to austinariesbook.com.
I'll pass.
For your fans of The Architect, Seth Rollins has a new 3 DVD set devoted to Seth Rollins called Rebuilding the Architect. Promotional material includes from his early days in FCW to becoming the first NXT champion to his WWE debut with the Shield and eventually obtaining the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Watch all of his greatest matches here. So basically a career retrospective of Rollins from his early FCW days up until I think it takes you to November of last year when he fought Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship.
That's not bad. My whole issue with the whole 3-disc sets nowadays
The network?
Because I just have a lot. I have a lot of trouble getting into them because of the network. Like, really, for me, all I really want to see is the documentary, and they eventually put it on the network anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just can't justify the purchase anymore of buying those 3-disc sets when every match that's on these sets are just, matches I can load up on the network and watch anytime I freaking want it.
Except for FCW, and it's probably going to be just a matter of time for FCW to be on there.
Yep. I certainly hope so, anyway.
So some of the stuff that you may not have seen for Seth Rollins, 2011 FCW in the Jack Briscoe Classic Finals, he takes on Hunico. Championship match against Dean Ambrose from August of 2011. Another championship match in FCW against Leo Kruger in February 2012, and NXT Championship match against Big E Langston from January of 2013. Those would be some of the stuff that you may not have seen, because then following that is, of course, The Shield.
Bam, 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 bam,
Roman Reigns. Some update on Lindsay Dorado. It appears that Lindsay Dorado suffered an injury last night wrestling Drew Gulak for a main event taping. PW Insider Mike Johnson of PW Insider has confirmed with multiple sources that Dorado is actually okay and not injured, so that's some good news there.
That's what you get when you don't work that high-flying style with Drew Gulak.
Damn
you don't
right.
get injured. Good job.
Oh, man. NXT this week, Tommaso Ciampa makes his way to the ring and with the assistance of crutches. Says he wants to take a moment to call out Johnny Gargano, so I immediately thought, oh, he's going to be out for a while, so him and Gargano make up and DIY reforms when they're both healed. No. Ciampa said, Johnny's not here tonight, and he talks about how people are already quick to replace Tommaso in the DIY tag team, thinking of all these dream tag teams to pair Gargano with, and he said it took less than a day to replace him, but I am not an afterthought, and explained why he did what he did at TakeOver. And in the end, Tommaso said he's a 32-year-old man, and there is something that he knows. The ring is not replaceable. Tommaso Ciampa is not and never will be replaceable. Johnny Gargano is not replaceable. He says the people are replaceable, and he will not give a sob story about how he's going to fix himself and be bigger and better than before. He promises that when he returns, he will be the most dangerous son of a bitch. He is professional wrestling, whether you like it or not. I completely dug the promo. Matt, what were your thoughts on the open of NXT there?
Sadly, that's Vince McMahon's mindset. That we as the fans are replaceable. So, but sorry, Vince, all these new fans that were supposed to replace the fans that have stopped watching your product have left. So
WWE Universe!
I think you got some problems, Vince. You got some problems. I thought the promo was fine. It's just that line about how the fans are replaceable to me just like screamed like WWE and Vince McMahon's mentality, and I just think it couldn't be anything further from the truth. And the steady decline in ratings over the last several years, state that perfectly.
Yeah, but Ciampa's a heel, so he's got to be an asshole. Vince is a heel, so he's an asshole.
So Vince is an asshole. Period.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why that chant started up in the Attitude Era. Pete Dunne took on Danny Birch in the UK division in a non-title match. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. This was some hard-hitting good shit. If you think Pete Dunne earned some respect after NXT TakeOver, the NXT Universe at Full Sail went pretty nuts for Pete Dunne when he came out to the ring. Great stuff there. I'm liking Danny Birch more and more each day, Matt. I mean, they brought him in here and there, basically to job. Of course, he did the job tonight, but this was a much longer match. But I kind of like the no-nonsense style of Danny Birch. And is he exclusive to the UK division now, or in between?
I honestly don't know. I know he's a solid hand. And I do like the fact that, to me, the UK Championship right now is NXT's equivalent to their Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
And I think that's really fucking cool. It's the working man's championship.
Would you like a Drew McIntyre to challenge Pete Dunne down the road?
Well, you damn well know that I did, because I predicted McIntyre to be fighting for that championship and Takeover Orlando.
Hey, maybe a Wade Barrett.
Instead, he was in the crowd instead.
Maybe a Wade Barrett. Maybe a Wade Barrett. He's wrestling again.
I don't see Barrett ever getting back in with WWE again.
I don't know.
Like, I really don't. I don't. I as much dude, I loved Barrett. You know I did, but I don't ever see that guy coming back. So
maybe have with some time and come back through NXT. Maybe just like Drew did. I could see that happening. Actually, honestly. I don't think the bridge has been burnt with the WWE and Barrett. I really don't. But Jesus Christ, they had something with Bad News Barrett, and they decided to go away from it. It was so ridiculous. Andrade Cien Alamos, the party boy, took on the impressive Brazilian blue chipper. I just threw my own Michael Cole nickname in there for Cesar Bonani. I think this is the second time we have seen Bonani on NXT, and almost had the upper hand for a good majority of it, but his eyes have been off the prize for months now, and it cost him here as the rookie Cesar Bonani gets an upset victory over Andrade Cien Alamos, and Alamos was pissed for a minute, then he kind of, I don't care, time to go party with the ladies, you know. So, not sure where they're going to keep going with this with Alamos, but hopefully it goes somewhere, and because I've enjoyed Alamos as a heel so far. So
all I did was laugh.
It can't be an episode of NXT without Peyton Royce and Billy Kay being funny in the Performance Center. Then Ember Moon shows up, and they start making fun of her. But then the trainer comes by and says, "Here's your medical release waiver." That kind of changed the tune for the Australian ladies in a hurry. We also announced that in 2 weeks, a women's title match will be had when Asuka takes on Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross in an elimination match. They took a look at Hideo Itami after his loss at TakeOver. They showed him getting into it with Cassius Ohno, but then they showed him in the parking lot, little hidden camera action there in the parking lot where they shook hands. Do you buy it, Matt, or are we getting evil Hitami?
I buy it for now. Like, we'll see how long it lasts. I definitely think we're getting an Ohno Itami feud.
No word if Samoa Joe or Kevin Owens are in the parking lot to attack Itami after that.
I really hate the fact we never got closure on this storyline.
I know.
But that's what happens when you have complications from the shoulder surgery. So,
or maybe it was Chris Hero.
Like, he wouldn't have been out. He wouldn't have been out nearly as long a time as he was.
Well, he was out over a year, wasn't he?
But he had major complications to the shoulder surgery he had. Like, they didn't do it right. Like, it wasn't his fault.
No.
It just kind of sucks.
Main event of this evening, Eric Young and Alexander Wolf from Sanity with Killian Dane at ringside take on Roddy Strong, Cassius Ohno. Great main event as one can expect. Once the numbers game kicked in after the end of the at the end of the match, No Way Jose comes out and makes his return for the first time since getting attacked at Access. And that led to Strong hitting the end of Heartache for the 3 count. And so now we have a new trio, which I'm perfectly fine with. Cassius Ohno replacing Ty Dillinger in the feud with Sanity. So not really complaining about those 6 guys feuding at all.
No, absolutely not. It's nice to see Jose back, too.
Yeah, and the crowd loved it, man. They were chanting No Way Jose. They were missing him. And it was just a matter of nothing for him, I guess. But, timing's everything, and, continuing the feud with Sanity makes complete sense. SmackDown Live, we'll talk SmackDown Live first here since we got Extreme Rules to cover at the end of the show.
Seems fair.
The Kevin Owens highlight reel kicks off the show. His guest Shinsuke Nakamura. Before Nakamura could say too much, he was interrupted by Baron Corbin. Baron basically saying nobody cares about Nakamura and called for some of his highlights, where they showed Corbin destroying Zayn so badly that he was stretchered out of the arena, which, again, we're overdoing the stretcher thing.
Oh, totally. I'll definitely agree with you there.
Especially when Zayn comes back on this SmackDown. Are you okay with them kind of protecting Nakamura from having to talk too much? I mean, we love he's good on the mic. It can be hard to understand at times, though. But do you think they should? What do you think of them kind of cutting him off here and there?
I don't know. I think the guy speaks fine. I think he speaks even better without the mouthpiece in his mouth. When he has the mouth guard in his mouth, I think that kind of hinders his talking ability a little bit.
Did he have it in during the highlight reel?
I don't know if he did or not, but I know his promo he had backstage with AJ like last week or whatever, or sometime recent, was a lot better than it was when he has the mouth guard in.
Yeah.
Just let the guy talk.
Yeah.
I don't freaking care.
They did that with AJ for a while too. Didn't let him talk.
Yeah, I know. To me, it's just, look, they're easier to. The more you let them talk, the easier they are to understand.
Exactly.
So just let them fucking talk.
Owens and Corbin gang up on Nakamura before Sami Zayn makes the save. Hence us saying the stretcher was ridiculous last week. Basically legitimizes our thoughts there. Zayn is back and healthy. And the ghost of Teddy Long comes up and makes a tag match play. We get yet another dream team. We had AJ Styles and Nakamura. This week we have Sami Zayn and Nakamura as they take on Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens. But go figure, Owens and Corbin can't get along, and Corbin punches out Owens' lights. And as he's getting up, then he turns around right into a Kinshasa for the 3 count. The good guys get the win. If you go to WWE.com, go to the Smackdown section, look at the photos from this match. Owens' face is freaking amazing at selling the Kinshasa. It is gold. So go check that out if you get a chance. So good 10-minute match with those guys to kick off SmackDown Live. I doubt you could have a bad match with those guys, so there you go. Usos. Day one is 8 shirts coming to the ring talking about how the Atlanta Falcons blew the Super Bowl. That'll get heat every time. That'll get heat in every city but Boston, Matt. Because everybody was like, Jesus Christ, you guys really let the Patriots come back to win?
Can't argue.
Live mic problems again, as Big E's mic wasn't working when he started his interruption promo for the return of the New Day.
They got it working, though.
They got it working, thank God.
He was so loud, Davey, you could still even hear him a bit when it wasn't working right.
You could. It was just that beginning when he's like, Atlanta! Yeah, once he got to the Don't You Dare Be Sour, it was all good. Great stuff from the New Day, as always. We missed them. They'd been gone for some time now, so we missed them. They have one thing in mind: the WWE World Tag Team Championships. So good stuff there. I think we'll get a good feud with good match with Usos and New Day for damn sure. They showed a replay of Jinder Mahal's Punjabi celebration along with the reaction from India, all sorts of television stations, news channels, and all that in India for the championship win as well. And then we get our new favorite on SmackDown Live, the Fashion Files. And Fandango walks upon a disheveled door draws his water pistol and sees that the room is been torn apart. He sees a silhouette of a woman, but it's actually Tyler Breeze undercover.
Breeze dirtbag.
Why is he still undercover? He still thinks I'm undercover. He could hear me? Oh, they found a clue, though. Some cologne. From the colognes, maybe? There was a hint of hibiscus in it. Oh, great stuff as always. Basically, setting up, I don't know if it's going to be a full-blown feud, but setting up a match later with the colognes. One of my favorite parts of SmackDown Live, Matt, I enjoyed what they did with the women here.
So did I.
This is what you do with the women, not what you did on Raw. We were supposed to get a 5-way elimination match for the #1 contendership to Naomi at Money in the Bank on June 18th. Before the bell could even ring, all hell broke loose, spilled to the outside. Women went through the announce table. Women went into the steel steps. Women were suplexed onto the floor. Women were thrown into the timekeeper's area. It was pure chaos. It was an awesome, well done with the ladies. And then Shane O'Mac comes out and says, well, only one thing we can do now, and is make history. At Money in the Bank, the women will have a 5-way ladder match at Money in the Bank with a briefcase held high above the ring. So the rumors from about a month ago are true, Matt, and I couldn't be more excited to hear that we're going to have a women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah, it should be cool. Interesting enough, Lana sent out a tweet earlier today asking Shane McMahon to put her in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which I would be fine with. 6 people. You got 6 men in the men's match, 6 women in the SmackDown match would be fine.
I'd say make her earn her way.
Dude, at the same token, you could even put her in a women's title match against Naomi on the pay-per-view.
Could.
Like if you want to throw her right because everybody else is booked at the moment.
It's just hard because she hasn't had a match on television.
Yeah, but yet, who else are you going to pair her with?
Yeah.
I
just think Naomi's going to have the night off. She'll be at ringside. It's just my guess.
I would like to see Lana do something. I'd like to see her either in the ladder match or actually, working with Naomi. I think it's time to reward some hard work. And like I said, I like Rusev and Lana, and I really hope there's no heat on them, even though it seems like there is. Putting her in the ladder match or the women's title match would, lessen my worry a little bit on the fact that there's heat on that duo right now.
Yeah. Colognes and Breezango had a match next, about 7 minutes. The Fashion Files are great, Matt, but when it turns into a 7-minute comedy match like this, I just have this feeling I'm going to get tired of it in a match real quick. I think the comedy stuff should be not in a match. I don't know how you feel about it, but
I'm not tired of it yet.
I just have a feeling
we'll wait and see how long it takes for me to get tired of it. But for now, I find it entertaining, and it's different, and it's really not something that's been done at least in a while. I don't have a problem with it. Not every single match in professional wrestling needs to be the utmost serious. And it's entertaining. It's getting a reaction from the crowd. People are digging it. Pro wrestling could use to be a little more fun in 2017. Let it go. If you don't like it, just wait for the next segment to come on. But clearly it's getting a reaction. I think it's funny. It's not stereotypical pro wrestling, but it's not bad either. Like I said, maybe I'll eventually get sick of it too, but for now, I find it entertaining and I'm cool with it.
Randy Orton came out next to talk to the WWE Universe, basically cutting a promo about being a third-generation wrestler going for his 14th world title reign. He's faced the greatest and all of that. He said the time for talking is done. It's time to take some action. And Jinder started up and basically cut his usual promo there. Just a little something to kind of further the feud along until the go-home show next week. Main event time, AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler. I thought they put on a hell of a match. I think I have a feeling we might probably disagree on this, Matt, but in order to make Ziggler relevant to the wrestler that he could be and should be, he's got to get big wins like this. And so I'm perfectly fine with him pinning AJ clean out a kind of as a surprise, because it's stuff like this that Ziggler needs to do in order to get to where he should be in the WWE. I'm going to guess I think I saw your tweet that you weren't too pleased with him going over AJ here, though.
Not in Georgia.
Well, yeah, that's the old hometown thing.
I'm so fucking sick of the hometown talent has to do the job. I
don't know if it was you or somebody else, but you made a good point, because that just killed the crowd for 205 Live.
Yeah, it absolutely did. It soured the crowd going into the hour of TV that they need to pick up fan interest in. And here's the problem. Live attendance at WWE events are going down. It's not going up. So you punish the hometown talent in front of the hometown fans, and then you expect them to buy tickets the next time you come to town.
Yeah.
It's not smart booking. This isn't the 1970s and 80s anymore, where you could do the stupid hometown guy loses and then I want to go back the next time to see him get his revenge. And that shit doesn't work anymore in 2017. Stop having the hometown person job every time they're in their hometown. Make it more 50-50. They win sometimes, they lose sometimes. But like WWE, it's like they lose 99.9% of the time, when they're in their hometown. And it's fucking ridiculous at this point. If Ziggler beat AJ Styles in Houston, Texas, I'd have a lot less of a problem with it than him beating him in Georgia. Yeah. Because I just think I'm tired of the same old tired-ass booking from Vince and company with their stupid rules and bullshit that they do all the time. It's garbage. Shit needs to change. And like I said, I've been saying this to Red in the face. I can't wait for the time where Triple H gets to take over this company, and some of these old dated ways of doing shit goes out the window.
We probably won't have Great Balls of Fire in July.
Thank God.
Monday Night Raw Memorial Day edition, taking place from Greenville, South Carolina. I guess you could say that's the neighbor of Flair Country. Woo! Good pieces, they always do, of the military, narrated by John Cena for Memorial Day. Miz TV kicks off the show and talks about how he's going to get his hands on the Intercontinental title at Extreme Rules. Recaps the stipulation: if Ambrose gets disqualified, he loses the title. His guest for Miz TV, Cesaro and Sheamus, and Miz putting those guys over, saying nobody in the WWE has worked harder than them and they deserve to be champions. They complain about the Hardys stealing their spotlight. I think Enzo and Cash should be the ones complaining about the Hardys stealing their spotlight. Miz said that Sheamus and Cesaro have been victimized by the fans because they don't see their greatness. Miz continued ranting also about how he's going to win back the title. Dean Ambrose comes out and says he sees three butt heads. Maybe that was a shot at that Biff character on TNA there. We call those guys butt heads.
I doubt WWE is paying TNA any attention right now, so I doubt it.
Are you saying they're not a threat?
I'm saying they're programming so bad lately that they're impossible to be a threat to anybody.
Combat Zone Wrestling is not scared of Impact Wrestling. Ambrose said, there's somebody needs to shut their mouths. Miz said, well, there's 3 of them and only 1 of yous. And Ambrose says, well, I'm not stupid. And here comes the Hardys. And a brouhaha starts and leads into the Ghost of Teddy Long, once again, setting up a 6-man tag. Kind of a dream tag for me, as a couple of my favorites, Jeff Hardy and Dean Ambrose, teaming on the same team. 6-man tag match went about 13 minutes. Good stuff from everybody there involved. I thought it was pretty good there. The good guys getting the win with Jeff hitting the Swanton on Miz after 13 minutes. Kurt Angle in his office reading something on his phone. Corey Graves is in the office. Just a minute before that, Graves was looking at his phone while Cole was cutting a promo and left all of a sudden while they're on camera. And so Graves is in the office with Angle and shows him what's on his phone, and Angle read some of it, saying a disgrace and embarrassment to the WWE, and was shocked by it. Graves says he's here to help Angle in any way possible, and Angle says, if this is true, it could ruin me. Any ideas on what this may be, Matt?
Something stupid.
I don't know. I'm intrigued. It's something different.
To me, the whole thing was stupid.
Why do you say that?
Because it doesn't make any sense. You know, at least give enough of a hint to where at least what they're implying at the beginning makes some sense to make people intrigued, and instead they just flat out bored me to death. Like I honestly have no interest in where this storyline goes. And to me, Monday Night Raw was way too heavily focused on a guy who, as far as I know, can never be medically cleared to step into a wrestling ring again.
Now, I got a theory here. We'll see what you think later on. But, I mean, he wasn't featured that much. I mean, it was that segment and one more.
All over the television Monday night.
Two segments. He was only 2 segments. That one and then the one with Cass later.
Way too much for a commentator, dude. Way too much.
Elias Sampson playing his song in the ring, and after he's done with his song, he takes on a jobber by the name of Zach Evans in about 3 minutes. Samoa Joe cutting a promo with Charlie Caruso, and is interrupted by Bray Wyatt as they set up their triple threat. Kind of thought this was closing the show, but nope, it's happening right now. Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt triple threat match. Matt, what'd you think of this match here?
Oh, I thought it was a really good match, and I thought the guy most likely to go over went over because he's unfortunately the least likely to win on Sunday. Yeah. So yeah, I expected Joe to win this, and he won it. And yeah, it did not surprise me because sadly, out of the 5 people, to me, he's the one least likely to win on Sunday. So he needed to win on Monday to go into Sunday. So, yeah, it was fine.
I know you haven't seen it yet, but the new Table for 3 with Jim Cornette, Michael Hayes, and Eric Bischoff, I just had watched that. And they talked about wiping the creative slate clean. What dream match would you like to see right now? And Cornette said Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar in a submission match. He goes, can you imagine one of those beasts having to tap out?
No, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Joe versus Lesnar, period, I think would be amazing.
Yeah, and if Meltzer's right, that feud is happening sometime this year.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, that's what we say about Meltzer all the time. So, but Balor hit the coup de grace on Wyatt. Joe got back into the ring, threw Balor into the ring post violently, and covers Bray Wyatt for the win after a great 17-minute triple threat match. Seth Rollins is interviewed by Mike Rome, talking about his life and times with Roman Reigns. They are going to main event Raw later on tonight. Rich Swann with Sasha Banks took on Noam Dar and Alicia Fox by his side. This match went only about 3 minutes with Rich Swann getting the win. Mixed tag match at Extreme Rules set up between those 4. And I thought it was kind of cool. Banks dancing in the ring with Rich Swann, a little something different from the boss. Dash and Dawson interviewed by the Revival, or interviewed by Charlie Caruso. Dash still has his jaw wired shut. God, I cannot imagine living with that, Matt. Ugh. But they talk about Enzo getting attacked backstage, and Dawson got upset and said they have not been in action. Then they showed the video showing them sneaking out of a room, looking like they just had gotten into some action. And they said they're not going to waste their time with Enzo Amore. Top guys out. Corey Graves apparently said something about Big Cass implicating that he could be the one that attacked Enzo, and that led Cass to get in Graves' face at the announce desk. And Graves says he was just giving Angle information. Cass seemed satisfied with the answer and shook his hand and left. The interesting thing was Corey Graves said he wanted to shake the hand of whoever knocked out Enzo Amore last week. Interesting.
I think you're giving WWE Creative way too much credit.
Yeah, my far-fetched idea, again, far-fetched, but it's the WWE, it's Vince, who knows. Corey Graves could be Cass's heel manager. Just putting it out there as a far-fetched idea. But, I mean, hey, putting 2 and 2 together there, man, you never know. Titus O'Neil took on Kalisto. That lasted all of a minute because Titus O'Neil cheated. Well, Matt, I'm going to probably skip This Is Your Life with Bayley and Alexa Bliss because it was fucking terrible. Matt, do you have anything to add to it was fucking terrible?
I'm just so happy that we don't have to talk about it because it was awful. And the only thing I can say is I appreciate the live crowd absolutely burying the entire segment.
Oh. The best thing that happened was when Bayley interrupted it, and it was over. Oh, my God. I mean, and it was universally hated by everybody. Just look around the internet. I don't think I saw anybody that liked it. Did you see anybody that liked it?
No, I didn't see anybody that liked it. It was terrible. Every time they've tried to do one of these segments since the original Rocket and Mankind one, they've been all awful.
Yeah. But, Vince, that was the best segment in the history of Raw. I can recreate it. No, you can't, pal.
No, you can't. It's really hard to recreate the magic from two people like The Rock and Mick Foley.
Yeah, no shit. And, look, Enzo Amore is face down on the ground again backstage. So, Big Cass shows up, Kurt Angle there too. Angle told Cass that the Revival had already left, and Cass says, well, they could have came back. Are you starting to believe me now, Matt, that it could be Cass?
Look, it's a terrible idea. Because
but are you starting to think it's...
No, I don't. Because they can't do anything with it. They can't do anything with it. This isn't Shawn Michaels and Triple H, where Triple H was revealed to be the guy who attacked HBK and they went on to have an excellent match together. This is like the opposite of such. They can't... Enzo and Cass cannot have a good match together. It would be Cass just flattening Enzo in 30 seconds and it would be done. For them to break up that way doesn't work. And Enzo and Cass feud is the absolute last thing I want to see right now, right behind Goldust's feud with R-Truth. So, just, oh my God, don't fucking do it. The tag division, the WWE tag division right now is lacking badly enough as it is between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. The last thing they need to do right now is break up one of their most popular tag teams and merchandise movers in Enzo and Cass. Them and the New Day are probably the two most popular tag teams on the roster as far as merchandise sales go. It would just be a terribly stupid idea to break that up right now for a feud that absolutely no one would be interested in. So I am going to stupidly give WWE Creative the benefit of the doubt and believe that they're not dumb enough to do Cass versus Enzo.
Yeah, there's no money in that.
No, and there's no match. It wouldn't be good. And it wouldn't be believable. Like, no one's going to believe that Enzo Amore can beat Big Cass.
No. Kind of the thing we talked about with 205 Live, the same four guys kind of cycling around the top of the division. Well, they all met in a tag match once again. Jack Gallagher and Austin Aries took on Neville and TJP. Fine match. They got 12 minutes in it, and but the big thing was that Neville tapped out for the first time since joining the 205 Live roster. He tapped out to the Last Chancery. Matt, that got you worried that Aries is not going to win. We'll break that down here in a little bit. We'll get into that because I got my own thoughts as well.
Well, I was feeling a little better after the way 205 Live ended Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
So, after that, I'm like, oh, maybe he is winning. Thank God, because the way they crushed him at the end of 205 Live made me feel that maybe he will, go in Sunday and finally win the title. But
one of the return of the Goldust's old school promos is back. I kind of liked it. He's calling it the Golden Age, and then R-Truth did his own reply to it, which I got a little kick out of. And then the main event, but Matt, you were watching hockey, so you didn't watch the main event, correct?
Yeah, I was getting Stanley Cup play, the Stanley Cup Finals on right now with the Penguins and the Predators, and I had to watch that. And I'll be perfectly honest, I'm watching Game 2 right now as we record this, and
it's over.
We just scored goal number 4, 3 goals in the last 4 minutes, and I'm fucking hyped. And yeah, that's great.
And the backup goalie's coming in.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I had to watch Game 1. I'm a Pittsburgh sports fan. Grew up in Pennsylvania, born and bred on Pittsburgh. Sports, Steelers, Penguins, Pirates. And yeah, this is great stuff for me. So, yeah, couldn't be happier.
Superb main event though between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. It got about 20 minutes, just a lot of amazing spots. My favorite spot was when Rollins was doing a springboard attack off the ropes and a perfectly timed Superman punch by Roman Reigns. Probably one of the most impressive Superman punches I've seen in some time.
I absolutely hated it.
You hated it?
You're talking about the turnbuckle bomb into the Superman punch?
Yeah.
I absolutely hated it because it made...
not that. No. This was a different one.
Okay. Because I was going to say, it made the move that ended Sting's career and put Finn Balor on the shelf for 6 months, made that move look like weak sauce ass bullshit. So I saw that earlier. I saw that spot online and I fucking hated that.
No, this was earlier.
I'm glad that's not what you were referring to.
Yeah, no, this was earlier in the match. Rollins was doing a springboard attack off the ropes, and Reigns caught him in midair with it for a near fall. So that was earlier on in the match.
Gotcha.
The one off of the buckle.
Did you like the one that I hated?
I liked the spot because it's one of those ones where the guys trade blows, and then they both go down and the crowd goes nuts. Watching it live, it was one of those cool, just one of those spots where you just know everybody's going balls to the wall. So I didn't hate that spot watching the whole match live just because of the energy of it. And you know what I mean when both guys get their shots in and then they both fall down and and the crowd just starts going nuts. It was one of those moments, so I didn't mind it at all. Into the match, Rollins was going for the Phoenix Splash, but Reigns moved. They exchanged some strikes. Went for the new finisher of Rollins's, but missed, and Reigns hit the spear for the 1-2-3 after 19 minutes. Great stuff there. Looks like, I guess, after Raw went off the air, I don't know if it was after Raw went off the air or right when they went off the air, Rollins had got back up and they kind of did a little stare down. It was almost kind of like a respect stare down kind of thing, since they're both kind of good guys now. Kind of a lackluster Raw, but a little better than last week. I thought SmackDown Live was great, so I think it was an overall decent.
The show was fine, but for a go-home show to a pay-per-view, it was weak.
And there hasn't really been many good go-home shows to pay-per-views lately.
Which is really sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, it's supposed to hype you up to go watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, like, how underhyped am I? This pay-per-view is like 20 minutes from my house.
It almost seems like...
I'm not going Sunday. I'm going to sit at my house and watch it on the network.
It seems like ever since... It seems like in the WWE Network era... The shift has gone from giving us a killer go-home show to giving us a killer show after the pay-per-view. It seems like it's shifted to after the fact instead of hyping us up
which
before.
Truly isn't smart.
No. Quickly on 205 Live, we got a rematch for Noam Dar and Rich Swann, a lot longer match than they had on Raw. Noam Dar gets the win there. Cedric Alexander, a quick match against Corey Hollis. You may have seen Corey Hollis on NXT before. Cedric Alexander hits the lumbar check there. And the main event, or not main event, actually it was the last match of the show. Mustafa Ali loses to Drew Gulak in a pretty good contest there. Then Austin Aries cut a promo, piped his new book, and talked about how Neville tapped out, and that led to Neville coming out all pissed off. When is he not pissed off? TJP attacks him from behind, and they both beat down Aries. And that's it for 205 Live. So we go to Extreme Rules. Right now, 6 matches are on the card. We'll kick it off with Rich Swann and Sasha Banks against Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. I don't think they're going to have the Boss lose this mixed tag match, Matt. What do you think?
Well, I would surely hope not, but it's in Rich Town's hometown of Baltimore.
Yeah.
So, I don't freaking know.
Submission match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Neville against Austin Aries. Yeah, I just cannot see how they cannot put the title on Aries right now. My thought after Raw was like, are they going away from Aries and maybe having Tozawa be the next challenger for Neville, just because Tozawa gets some of the best crowd reactions with his chant? That was kind of my feeling, but like you just said with 205 Live, I think we figured the plan all along was to put the title on Neville, on Aries eventually.
Well, the thing is, they claim they want to bring more eyes on the product. Aries clearly has a popular following with the hardcore fan.
Yeah.
And, it's time, dude. It's just time to switch the title. Neville's had it long enough.
Especially since this is their third match. And are there no rules in a submission match, Matt? Or are there traditional rules and such? Because Neville's kind of skirted them on the last match by pulling the ref.
Oh man, I just feel like this has to. If Aries doesn't win this match, I just shrug and go, what the fuck? I mean, honestly, because I don't even freaking understand it at this point.
Yeah, to have him lose. Well, to have him lose twice.
It'd be 3 times in a row.
Yeah, have him re-earn his spot
where he
and then
didn't
lose
get
it
the
again.
championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be at a lot. You're claiming you want more eyes on the product. Clearly, the Neville experiment. Dude, I love Neville, but he's held the title for 5 months, and he is yet to bring more eyes to the 205 Live product on the network. Switch the champion, and that just needs to be done. And I just see no reason why Austin Aries should not leave Baltimore with the Cruiserweight Championship on Sunday. He really, really should.
Steel cage match for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. The Hardy Boys take on Cesaro and Sheamus. How do you see that one playing out, Matt?
This one's so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cesaro and Sheamus, it feels like they're losing like every damn match that they've done. So, I feel like they have to win.
But I honestly don't know. Like, I really don't know.
Cesaro
Like,
and
this
Sheamus
one's a hard one. I feel like Cesaro and Sheamus should win on Sunday. But, they could easily win by escaping the cage. It's a kind of a tainted win. That way, they didn't pin or submit the Hardys. They just escaped the cage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I feel like Cesaro and Sheamus will win on Sunday. But, I've been wrong before, so we'll find out.
I think Cesaro and Sheamus have done well molding into a tag team, especially since turning heel. Part of me thought the Hardys were going to keep it all, until the club would take it from them. But there's got to be a reason that Cesaro and Sheamus lost, turned heel, and won the tag team turmoil match to become number one contenders again. So I'm going to go with Cesaro and Sheamus here as well, just because of the simple fact that they turned him heel for a reason. Who knows if they're going to have Matt and Jeff be singles guys going after this run.
No, you can't break these guys up until they can do the broken gimmick together.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
Yeah, there's no way. They're not breaking the Hardys up this soon. That would be terrible. And further dampening the tag division. You break up the Hardys, you chance, quote unquote, of breaking up Enzo and Cass. That'd be a disaster, dude.
Yeah. Nah, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go to the Hardys. I think the Hardys are gonna hold them.
Honestly, I hope you're right. But
I think they're gonna hold. I think the Hardys are gonna hold them to SummerSlam.
Okay, you know what, dude? I hope you're right. It's just I got a feeling with as much as Sheamus and Cesaro have lost lately, I sense a tag title change on Sunday. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on. Honestly, I like the fact that there's doubt going into this match.
Well, and if Cesaro and Sheamus win, I'm not going to hate that either, because I love what they've been doing. I mean, I've said this the last few weeks. This is my favorite feud in the WWE right now, mainly because I love what Sheamus and Cesaro are doing. And, of course, you got the Hardys. That just goes without being said. But the fact that Cesaro and Sheamus have really formed a great tag team right now, I'm not going to hate if they win. But I'm going to go to the Hardys, though. I'm going to go with my initial gut feeling and say the Hardys retain here. Kendo stick on a pole match, dampened by that shitty, whatever it was called. I already forgot. Alexa Bliss and Bayley. I don't see Bayley retaining here. How can
Bayley retain a title she doesn't currently have?
Or win it back, I'm sorry. But I am just not a fan of what they're doing with Bayley at all.
I was going to say, I'm going to go with the exact opposite here. I say this match is a absolute must-win for Bayley. Because they've buried her creatively so badly over the last few weeks that if she doesn't overcome the odds and win this match, she's done. Like, they might as well move her to SmackDown. Like, they absolutely crushed her. And my desire to see Bayley against Sasha at SummerSlam is slowly fading out the window.
That plays part of it. I'm not buying that they're turning her heel now.
So to me, I feel Bayley needs to win on Sunday as badly as she's been handled the last several weeks. Bliss has gotten up on her every single week. Like, Bayley's not getting up on her at all. So I feel like Bayley has to win on Sunday. Like I feel we're gonna. Dude, now that I think about it, I think every single title's changing hands. On Sunday.
Yeah, I just don't think... I don't know.
I think every title's changing hands on Sunday.
Bully Ray bringing up the Tommy Dreamer thing made me think Bayley's going to lose and take her medicine. But does the match end when they get the stick? Or...
No, when you get the stick, you're just legally allowed to use it.
So if you don't get the stick and you take it from them, you can't use it?
That's my understanding. Stupid, right?
Yeah. I still think Bliss retains here.
I see title change.
Intercontinental title, Dean Ambrose, Miz. I see Hey, get it? IC. I see the Miz doing a little something dirty to make the ref think that he's going to disqualify Ambrose.
Yeah, there's going to be chicanery. This isn't going to be a clean finish. Dean will be disqualified, and the change hands. Like Miz is walking out of Baltimore with the title. Like I see every title on like right now. I see every title changing, which kind of maybe increases the chances that the Hardys do get to retain. But the women's and the Intercontinental title, I think both change on Sunday.
Yeah, and the way I'm picking, it's 50-50 with the way I'm picking. So
how sad is it that I think 3 titles are going to change, and I still don't want to go to the show? That says something. That says something about the overall product right now, man. That really does.
The main event that the pay-per-view is probably hinging on for success: Fatal 5-Way Extreme Rules match for the number 1 contender. I think this is gonna tear the fucking house down. This is going to be a great one. I may not be looking forward to much outside of the tag match and maybe the submission match, but I am extremely, pun intended, looking forward to the Fatal 5-Way match. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Samoa Joe. I'm going to stick with my gut here, Matt, and go with the pick that can lose to Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire and not get hurt from it. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins. Who are you going with here?
I think Bray Wyatt.
Wyatt and Lesnar would be interesting. That's for damn sure.
All I keep hearing is that the match for the July pay-per-view is a quote-unquote one and done. The PPV, you call Bray Wyatt. So yeah. I feel like Wyatt's gonna sneak out a win. He'll probably pin Roman Reigns. Just because that'll give the pop of Reigns being the one taking the pinfall. Maybe even go as far as a surprise return for Braun Strowman to cost Reigns the match. Yeah. I don't know. I just speculating, but yeah, I feel like Bray's going to win this, and Brock's gonna run him over like a freight train. And it'll probably be Balor and Lesnar at SummerSlam. So,
well, I've been hearing Strowman and Lesnar at SummerSlam.
Well, that could happen too if he's back in time.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Lost in the Midcard. As always, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure that you do a search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, every Thursday and most Mondays after WWE pay-per-views. Just a quick programming note, we will come at you next on Monday for Extreme Rules reaction, but then we'll be off for a week and a half as I will be traveling, so we will be back at you a week and a half that following Thursday after our Extreme Rules review show. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube, and the links to all that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. And we're also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. Matt's on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into that sunset, look forward or not look forward to Extreme Rules on Sunday. Matt, what are your final thoughts?
How sad is it that we're only going to be off a week and a half, but our last regular weekly show right now, we're doing an Extreme Rules preview show?
And then next one's Money in the Bank.
Next show is going to be a Money in the Bank preview show. There's too many fucking pay-per-views, WWE. Stop it.
It's a good thing I'm taking a vacation so we can take a little break there.
Oh my God.
I have a feeling we're going to want to talk after Money in the Bank.
I hope so. Dude, if Money in the Bank was in Baltimore, I would be going to that. I would be going.
First ever women's Money in the Bank. Why would you?
I would have even gone without that. After the main match was announced, I would have gone just for that. But the women's one on top of it, I'm all about that. And New Day and the Usos. I'm really excited about the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Extreme Rules, it's not there for me right now.
St. Louis, Missouri. That's about 6 hours for me.
Well, you're a lot closer than I am.
Except I'll be traveling the week before that, and then I'll be gone for a wedding 2 weeks after that too. So
Fun.
Yeah. So the end of the month we won't have a Thursday show as well because I'll be in Colorado for a wedding. So we'll keep you posted on all of that. But hey, Matt, there's enough pay-per-view shows to keep the episodes coming at least.
Yeah, no shit.
For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thanks for tuning in to Lost in Midcard. Enjoy Extreme Rules. We'll give you our instant reaction on Monday.